People are happy and optimistic today. The YouTube chat.
Are they?
No, Bob, no. There are people yelling at each other. The defenders of every move and the, I would argue, rational people are going back and forth right now.
Well, I think both things could end up panning out here. You could end up having this cat be a good player, but you can also say, and it's not going to age poorly, in my opinion, this was an incredibly massive reach.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna look back at all the guys. Swag's guy, Carter Bryant, was there at 11. He was. I mean, there was a lot of players available at 11.
You got to see what Coward ends up doing.
Yes, the pick that you made.
What does Jakob Jonas do?
We didn't talk about him much. Neek Clifford had a nice little run for himself in the NCAA tournament and his season at Colorado State. He might
there were two other centers that were taken after him. The dude from France and then the kid from Georgetown went a couple of picks after him too.
Yeah.
So the problem now is it's a very short leash. Like, if you had taken this guy in the second round,
whatever,
and
he's
it's
a flyer.
more of a project,
yes,
okay, fine.
What do you mean a short leash? What does that mean?
Well, you've taken him now in the 16th. With the 16th pick, you made a deal. You made the holiday deal, will make the holiday deal, which indicated they're interested in trying to win now and get into the back end of the playoffs. But now you're setting up Yang to have to produce at a level with these other guys there between 10 and 20. And if he doesn't, even if he pans out later on at age 26 or 27, all of a sudden he figures it out, as some centers take longer to do.
26 or 27, dude. How old will we be at that point? He's 20 today.
He's turned
20 today.
Turning 20 years old today.
But he's got to come over and actually show something and produce now.
Is this not
is this a new opening of a 5-year window? Do we have a 5-year window?
And that's probably not fair
the
to Yang
Hansen window?
Well,
it's not fair to him at all.
Is it not fairly? I mean, I think this is obvious. Maybe you guys don't agree. I thought the holiday move was about getting a good player that was going to help us win a little more than they did last year with 36.
Try to get to the playoff.
I think I've adjusted this. I still think they like him as a player, obviously, but he's 35. I think this was a mentor move. And I poo-pooed that. All day yesterday, poo-pooed it on text with people of like, yeah, they like him. He's a good locker room guy, good community guy. He'll be good in the locker room.
Yeah.
I just think we grossly overvalue that whole, people point to the Chris Paul SGA thing. They point to their 2 or 3 examples, but they don't point to the other years of NBA stuff that they don't know about or they haven't heard about. And I'm not saying he won't be beneficial, but like now with this draft pick, I have to consider that they did, in fact, trade for him to be a mentor.
Yeah.
Because Yang Hansen's not winning next year.
And are we now concerned about what the organization thinks of Klingon?
How do we not? It sounds like they would have picked him last year if he was in the draft.
You took centers with back-to-back picks in the first round. The one position I think we all agreed on going in.
I mean, they're going to
even more so than
guards, though. Because Rob Will's going to DeAndre expires. Like whether he's traded, now or at the deadline, he's expired. He's gone.
You're not. I just don't see how you trade that because you have to make the salaries match. So no, but you're not going
up to
expire
a percentage,
up to the 90%. What does he make? $35 million a year?
About.
Yeah.
So you got to get to 30. You got to find a guy making $30 million a year.
You multi-team trade it.
You're not going to salary to salary match though in terms of an why would somebody trade an expiring for expiring? So if you're trading DeAndre Ayton, you're essentially going to have to take on a bigger contract that's a longer term deal that a team's trying to get out of. Like that, he's going to walk for nothing.
The last expiring we traded, we had to attach draft capital to move it.
Yes, we did.
And that guy was 25.
Yeah.
So
I'm more confused now than I was at the end of the regular season.
And Robert Williams has no healthy legs.
I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, these two are your centers.
Why is anybody trading for him?
Rob Williams and DeAndre are not for long here, whenever that is. These are your two centers.
Yeah.
So how this reflects on Klingon, I think that they would just say, you need two centers on a team. These are our two centers.
These are our two guys.
And WAP will be thrown out there once in a while to maybe hit a 3.
Let's get to some of the Joe Cronin audio. So last night, first round ends. I'm sitting around waiting. I see the announcement. It will start soon. Here comes Joe Cronin. I did enjoy. I don't know how you guys watched it, But I was watching on the Blazer.com feed.
I was too.
And they
had the
audio guy at the start.
Stuff,
They
yeah.
couldn't quite get the microphone right, and I almost took a screenshot of it and said, yeah, the night's going well for the old Portland Trail Blazers. Audio guy was fishing with the numbers and trying to get the volume up.
Dude, that's a long day for everybody, man. They got to
It
get
is.
there too early, and then the media does nothing all day, and then it happens super late.
Joe Cronin's out there looking like a zaddy, and here he is talking about the newest edition.
At 16, we selected a player that we've been watching for quite a while, and we're really excited about, Yang Hansen. And it's a player I'm sure we'll talk a lot about him, but we couldn't be more excited. This is a very, very unique talent, in our opinion. He obviously great size at 7'2", young, just turns 20 tomorrow. High-end skill set, his ability to pass, his basketball IQ, his functionality in the post, his ability to step out. We think he'll, be a good free throw shooter. We think he'll make perimeter jump shots as well. Defensively, he's a really smart player that, can be pretty versatile in the post with his size and IQ. So, this is a player that's, he's coming over to America. It'll be an adjustment, and it's our job to prepare him and develop just like we do all of our guys, but there'll be a big emphasis in pouring into him and getting him to his peak.
He's a good free throw shooter.
We hope.
So we got that going for us.
Not so much sold on the perimeter shooting part. Good passer, though.
He's a good passer. Those dimes he was throwing in the Chinese basketball league were pretty sick. Backdoor cuts. Here he is. How long they've been scouting him.
We've been scouting him deeply for almost 2 years now. We've had, we had a scout identify him during one of his under 18 events. And then we sent Mike and Sergi, our two assistant GMs, over to China that fall to go scout him live. When they came back from that trip, they left very, very impressed. And we were actually hoping he'd be in last year's draft. He didn't declare last year. So we continued to scout him for the last year, this past season. And as we studied him more and more throughout this process through the spring, we saw him at the Combine, of course, met with him at the Combine. And then we're able to bring him in here and had a good workout here, and we're able to spend more time with him here. So, between our scouts identifying him early on and then some of our big key decision makers seeing him very early on, I felt like we had a big advantage in our scouting process and building our book on him as a player.
That lead scout who found this guy is either going to be famous or infamous. It's one or the other.
I think it was Schmitz and oh, yeah, I guess he did say it. He didn't name the
one
scout
of the international
that found
scouts.
him,
Whoever that guy, if this guy ends up to be Chinese Jokic, that guy will go down as a legend in Blazer history of you're damn right I found
Retire
him.
his jersey is what
Retire
I would
that guy's
say.
jersey.
Yeah.
He's more deserving than Bobby Gross, no offense.
I also want to ask this question because I know we have more cuts from Cronin.
Yeah, we'll get to him on the other side.
I think what I'm seeing this morning, because there are people that are just naturally going to sit on it after being pissed and shocked, and they're going to wake up and they're going to watch the internet for 2 minutes and go, yep, they made the right move. And they're just going to do that every time, no matter who it is and when it is and what position it is. What is the number in the draft? I want to know this from people because I've already seen one person who's I've seen be critical and is like, thought about it. Actually think they made the right move here. Take the swing. And then the end was, it's the 16th pick. It's whatever. And I didn't have that thought yesterday of like, it's whatever.
Considering who was still on the board for you at 16 and where those guys were mocked, I didn't have that thought at all.
And I also understand that like some of that is a crapshoot. It's no different than the NFL.
Yeah,
but
it's a
like,
roll of the dice.
What is the number for you guys? Is it the first round? Is it just the second? I think it's something to think about is like.
I think the top. I think after you get past 20,
that's probably
then
my
it's
number.
take swings and do
But
whatever.
when you're
Maybe
in
top
there,
25-ish, top 20, somewhere in
when
that
you're in there
range.
in the teens, you're at least looking to find a piece. It may not be an all-star or a consistent starter, but I'm looking to find a piece, somebody that I can get 20 minutes of productivity out every night, in whatever capacity that player's strengths are.
Not to mention the fact that you had the 11th pick, too. Like, I think we all applauded the trade initially, thinking, wow, you got more assets. You moved down. There's a lot of people on the board. No, you didn't take Carter Bryant. He was there, but, who knows how he's going to be in the NBA. We have no idea. Like, that was the other part of this that I viewed differently, too. You didn't come into the draft with the 16th pick. You traded down because this was the guy that you identified. You had a nice little pool of players that you could have picked from at 11, and we'll see how all of them pan out. They will all be compared to Chinese Jokic in the years to come amongst this fan base.
Well, they would have traded back further, but they thought it was too risky. They thought this guy was going to be gone after 16.
You got to get on him, dude. He's not going to be there. You got to go.
I haven't seen any intel that that's accurate, but they really felt that way.